Hi, I'm Corey, Service Manager of the MarkCostelloCo company. I'm going to show you how to put a gasket in the door of our sterilizers. Now this is a lip seal type gasket. So it has a lip on one side of the gasket. Now whenever installing one of these gaskets, first thing you want to do is make sure your lip is always towards the center of the circle. You'll always find a seam where the rubber has been vulcanized together. You generally want to put this seam at the top of your vessel as your starting point. Now when we install these gaskets, we first want to make sure that our vessel is clean and dry. Always remember, try and work on it at a period where the vessel is not hot. You don't need to burn your fingers on this, safety first. Now whenever I install a gasket on a vessel, I usually take the gasket, lay it out on the floor, and find about 6 to 12 inches of the gasket near the seam where it's vulcanized together. I place the gasket in the groove, and there is a little lip, a round nipple on the inside of the gasket, and there's a groove towards the inside. Also tells you which way it goes. You will roll the gasket into place, getting about 6 to 10 inches just to hold it. Once you get it in, you'll find your center at the bottom, and we're going to work this like a clock. 12 o'clock, now we're going to go down to 6 o'clock, and we're going to install about the same amount, and it will just push in. No tools are generally required. I have seen guys use a hammer handle, just a wooden handle, to install these. That's acceptable, but you don't really want to go with screwdrivers or other such tools. Then you'll find your center at about the 9 o'clock, and these will stretch as you go in. So once you start putting in your gasket, you'll start to see it line up and you'll start to see it stretch. Now for example, if you were to take your gasket and start at one end and go completely around the circle, you will end up with a loop of about this much extra material. So this is the best way to avoid that. Find your centers, start installing them, and then fill in your gaps as you go. And I advise wearing a pair of gloves because this will get to your fingers after a while. So filling in the sections as you go along just presses into place. Just from section to section. And as you fill them in, you'll see it will tend to stretch once you get closer to finishing a section. But you will be able to work, and here we go. Now we're starting to see it stretch. When I get it to stretch where it starts to show a roll or lip, then I'll start in the center of that. Always working one end first, and then rolling the lip back in, and as you can see, she will set down into place. Sometimes we have to remove a section and push it back in, because if you don't get the lip end in first with the little nipple, she'll set in incorrectly, and you'll have to pull it out, push the front end in first, the inside end, and then the outside later. And just continue this process around the entire vessel where you're filling in certain sections until you're done.